Is it music? It is Q92. Christian and Lauren, we're back here. The morning show wasn't enough. We wanted to hop back on the
That's
air today.
right. Here we
So
are.
we are doing that today, and we've been telling you all morning. You can follow us on social media. You know we're going to be talking to Zach Myers, lead guitar player for Shinedown. Going to be here up at Blossom tonight with Papa Roach. Going to be an amazing show. We got a lot of listeners. We gave away tickets. That show going to be up there. You guys tag us in that show. Going to be an amazing time. Shinedown, I'm not going to lie, one of my favorite bands of all time.
It's true.
Bon Jovi, NSYNC, Shinedown. If that's not three weird groups, I don't know what is.
You're getting the thumbs up, though, from Zach.
So, Zach, first of all, thanks for taking the time. I know you guys are busy getting ready for a show tonight up in Cleveland. Thanks for joining us.
You're very welcome, and I appreciate your the top three bands very much so.
Yeah. Now, if I'm right, and tell me if I'm wrong, because I don't expect you to remember, but I talked to you at a rock station in Youngstown I was on years ago. Did you not grow up kind of? You knew Justin Timberlake growing up, or am I making that up in my head?
No. We all grew up kind of in the same area. So yeah, like and that whole group, all the Saliva guys, 3-6 Mafia guys, Project Pat, like all that, like it was all like that. We were like Memphis, like it was weird, like the distance between the music scene in Memphis, right? Like you had Elvis and a couple like Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins thing, and then like really like we didn't get any 80s bands in, you know what I mean? Like
right.
we had like Tora Tora, which was a one of my favorite like 80s early 90s bands, and then it went straight to like Timberlake, me, 3-6, Saliva, like that was really kind of it. And then MGMT is from Memphis as well.
So a lot of groups there coming there from around the Memphis area. Let's talk about the tour for a second. You guys, it's just kicked off. You guys, you got your show in there, the first show of the tour in the other day. What was it like going? What is it like when you always kick off a new tour that first night? Is it kind of like get the bugs out, figure out what you like and don't like?
For me, it's very so I in 2016 I started like designing our shows, like designing like the whole show. So for me, day one is a nightmare until the show starts, and then but like the lead up and everything is a lot. It was good though. It was like 60,000 people in St. Louis. It was a great night. We changed up some set list stuff for us. Like I've been making our set list for about 20 years, and now like the band is getting more involved in it, which makes me happy because this is like I always sound like the biggest dummy when I say this, but like we've been blessed enough to have 19 number one songs. That's really hard to make a set list. Like you think it would be easier. It is not easier. And you don't want to get caught in that like thing of like the fair casino band thing where these bands that have had like two greatest hits albums and they just play the same songs. They just kind of re-throw the dice on the table and reshuffle them. So we added some old stuff that we haven't played in a long time, and it kind of messed with Brent a little bit in his voice. So like we had the next show, it was like the set, like we had already done show one, and show two, there was like an hour and a half conversation with me and Brent about the set list, and we had to like move some stuff around. But so the set list, I think it will be a little bit ever changing on this tour. But yeah, the night one was honestly, I don't think we could have asked for a better night one.
Yeah, and you talk about this tour too, man. My God, Spirit Box and Papa Roach. I mean, Shinedown and Papa Roach on the same tour. Talk about two bangers and two heavy hitters that have, like you said, a big collection of hits. Now, do you get time to sit and watch their set at all? Are you interested in watching their set before you guys go on, or do you have to kind of get in your zone and get ready for the show?
I get to watch about the first 30 minutes, and then we have a jam room in the backstage. So like we'll go out and me, Barry, and Eric, and sometimes Brent will come in there. We'll play through like 3 or 4 songs. We do a lot of like jam stuff in the middle of the show because Brent, lots of people know us. Brent is a talker.
Oh yeah, he talks.
But it's very inspirational, and like so what we try to do is we kind of just jam and play new stuff every night and kind of just free form, like make stuff up as we're going. But you want it to fit his vibe and where he's going with what he's trying to say and the point he's trying to get across. So we mess around with that stuff a lot. So I get to watch about the first 30 minutes of their set. I'll tell you what, it's not really a band you want to watch before you go on. And I said this the first night, I'm like, they're like the only band that that like makes me nervous, like going on after them. And Seven Dust are two bands that are like that. Like you don't want to. They're so good that you're like, I went out the first night and watched like the first like 4 songs, and I like went backstage and I started like stretching. I'm like, all right, we gotta figure this thing out. No, they're so good that and honestly, like at this stage in our career, like touring with bands and people that we like off stage is the most important thing. And like, I don't know of two bands that get along better really than us and Papa Roach. We've done this. I think this is our 4th tour together in the last 15 years.
That's amazing. Well, you see that you actually, first of all, you've had a very awesome career to this point, done a lot of things, and it seems like you have involvement in a lot of different stuff. And as I was kind of doing some research and looking at some background stuff, I said to Christian, I said, do you know he's part of a podcast? He's like,
Yeah.
no. So we totally just went and checked this out. Can you tell us a little bit
Oh
about
no! I hope you didn't hear that.
Do you want to just mention some of the titles of the podcast?
This was amazing. This was gold this morning.
The titles alone are gold.
I couldn't even remember some of them. We took a year off, and we're about to come back and do it again because I think we were actually probably just going to let it, because it really started a podcast during quarantine. A million. And so that's kind of what we did. But it's me, our head of security, John, and then Paul, who's part of our merch team. And we, it's called the Seemingly Unknown Podcast. The quick backstory of the name is, our old drum tech worked for Prince for years.
Wow. When
Prince died, I woke up to a text message from him. My first son was just born in 2016. I believe Prince died in April 2016. My first son was just born, and I was kind of had him up at like 5, 6 in the morning, just kind of, trying to get him to settle down again. And I half asleep, and I reach over, and there's a text from our old drum tech, who will remain nameless. And it said, Prince is dead, because I'm a huge Prince, Petty, and John Prine. Those are the 3 Ps. Those are my guys. So, it said Prince is dead. And so I just had assumed that like this was on TMZ. And so I tweeted out, I'm hearing we lost the greatest of all time. I hope this isn't true. Rest in peace, Prince. What I did not know is that he did not find out because he worked for Prince. He found out because his brother was the sheriff in the town. And I had tweeted this out 5 hours before anybody knew Prince was dead.
Oh my gosh.
You broke it?
I was the first person. This is a true story. I was the first person to ever announce that Prince had died.
Wow.
So this is how good media is. I fall back asleep. Just little old me. And I wake up to about 27 voicemails from CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, Sky News, BBC. And I don't answer any of them. I'm like, oh no, what did I do? I got I have tweets that are death threats.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh my gosh.
So my buddy in the UK sends me a picture. I wish I still had it. I don't think I do, but it was a screenshot of the TV in the UK, and it said, seemingly unknown guitar player Zach Myers announces Prince is dead.
Oh my god.
So the Seemingly Unknown podcast was born from that. And the subject matters obviously range from anything. It's really just us just being the adult delinquents that we are, and nothing's off the table. But there is like a lot of like deep stuff in there too. We kind of dive a lot. I don't post a lot of personal stuff about me, so I think that's why people really enjoyed the podcast, is because I would kind of dive into that stuff. And so, but yeah, it's gonna come back because fans won't stop asking us for it to come back. So
I know on the way home, I'm going to listen.
I know exactly what
I'm God.
To the one about twins' penises.
Yeah. We need to know if this is true.
That's going to be in my car on the way home.
Here's the thing though, right? That's a valid question.
No,
it is. It's very fair.
It needs to be answered.
And we couldn't get any. We didn't know any male twins at the time to like. Are they similar? Is one like way bigger than the other, and they're growing up, and they're like, man, this sucks. We look exactly the same, but you're born like this.
Someone has to be the winner.
Listen,
I don't know who.
We're asking the questions that you really want to know the answers to.
Yeah,
like I said, you got 2 people. You're about to get 2 more views on that one, because we're about 100%. To listen to that.
All right, great.
on our way home.
Yeah.
That one is fantastic. You know, one of the cool things about Shinedown too is your side project. Obviously, Smith and Myers, you guys do. A big fan of that too. Love the covers that you guys do on that. Besides your originals, and you did more originals on this last one. But man, some of the covers you guys pull off. I mean, some you've been doing for years, like Sitting on the Dock of the Bay. But obviously, you know, your cover of Adele really blew me away. And I was really, not that I didn't expect something great from you two, but man, that cover of someone like you it really surprised me when I heard that version of that you guys put out. How much thought do you guys put in to what songs you want to cover? And are you afraid to take on? I mean, that's Adele that you guys took on.
I don't know if we're afraid. I think because we're so open to things. Like that first one with the Adele thing was a fan. So the Smith and Myers thing came with a bunch of radio stations had reached out to the label and they wanted Shinedown to do a couple covers. Well, if you know Shinedown, we've done a cover and we'll never do another one. Yeah. So,
well, the one was really, really good.
And it helped our career, and we play it every night. It's a staple, but we're not trying to do anything else like that. Right, so right. Brent came to me and was like, what if you and I just did it? And we weren't even going to call it anything. And I said, well, let's just call it Smith and Myers. So we go in and we let fans vote. We picked 10 songs. The fans picked 10 songs. The only song that Brent and I picked that won was the Adele song. Because we were picking Bruno Mars and, you know, stuff outside of rock. And so that first record is obviously there's a lot of like rock songs on it that are covered because that's kind of what fans knew us for and wanted us to do. So when we threw Adele in there, we were shocked that it won, and we did it. And obviously got permission to do it from her camp as well, and that felt good. And but no, I love playing that song. When we don't tour a lot, obviously, because Shinedown's the machine and the main thing. But when we do, like, that show's a Grateful Dead show in the sense of like the show changes so much every night. Like two shows have never been the same. Like that show's about a 21 song show, and some nights we'll play 17 songs that we didn't play the night before and only keep 4 or 5 in there, you know. But that song tries to make it into the set list as much as I can put it in there.
Yeah, you are a busy man. That's not the only group. You're another band I'm a fan of that you hook up with, Justin Moore.
Yeah,
Ingram Hill. I was a big Ingram Hill fan back in the day.
Yeah, awesome.
It's just crazy, like like you said, how eclectic your styles are, and how you get together with that group as well. And dude, I remember watching one of JR's lives he does on Facebook, and you showed up one night I'm watching. I go, wait a minute, what's Seth doing over there?
He lives down the street from me, so I can just show up at his house when he does those things, and I don't tell him. That's the best part. Is I'll text his wife and go, I'm about to come to your house, leave the door unlocked. And I learned the first time you have to put the dog in the backyard because the dog will bark, and then he'll know someone's showing up, and then he gets real sketchy about it. But we'll bust into his lives all the time. No, the Alan Myers and Moore thing came from like, I'm not like a huge side project guy. And I tell people this all the time. I'm like, you notice that I'm not in like a rock side project, because to me, I think if you're not getting what you need out of your band, then there's the first problem. So like, I would never be in like a rock side project. Like,
right.
So Alan Myers and Moore is the band meets the Eagles. You know, it's very singer-songwriter. It's kind of, you know, I'm a big fan of the band, Levon Helm and Robbie Robertson and all those guys. So like, and then the 4-part harmony thing with me, Justin, Chris Allen, and Zach Mack had become a thing. And now Justin and Zach have kind of become a part of Smith and Myers. They open, and then they're part of kind of the Smith and Myers band, because Justin will play percussion and keys and sample pads and acoustic guitar and bass, and then Zach Mack will play guitar, and it's helped out a ton. But yeah, that project's a lot of fun. We don't get to do it as much as we'd like, just because everyone's so busy. But it's definitely one of my favorite things to do.
Awesome. Well, tonight you will be at Blossom Music Center playing for our fans here locally. We sent a lot of winners to the show to see you guys.
Excited.
Yeah, that's happening tonight. Shinedown with Papa Roach and Spirit Box. So I have one more question for you.
Yes.
Pre-show rituals. Do you guys have one?
We do. I think everyone's is kind of different. Like I said, we go in and play, like we just kind of jam for about 20, 30 minutes before the show, and just like Not even really as a warm up, because if we didn't jam, I wouldn't. I, and this is gonna sound weird. I don't like play guitar before the show. I don't like need to pick up the guitar and like I gotta like warm up. I don't do that. But like, for us, it's just kind of like a way for the rhythm section and us to kind of just like lock in with each other. And then like everyone kind of has their own thing. Brent starts getting ready exactly like 55 minutes before the show, tapes up his ankles. He's got like a lot of different traditions that he does his hair, whatever he's gonna do to that. And the rest of us are about I'm kind of the last one. I'm about 20 minutes out is when I start getting ready. Unless like before we'd wear suits and then everyone's about 45 minutes. I'm kind of the quiet one. Other guys sometimes will listen to music. If I listen to music, it's like not what you'd think. It's like John Mayer, James Taylor, Foy Vance, kind of really calm. And I remember Brent coming to me one day and going, "Why, why do you listen to like slow stuff?" And I'm like, "Because when I go on stage, like I'm about to go to war. Like I'm not trying to like pump myself up and like waste my energy. Like I'm gonna have the energy. Don't worry about that. The energy's gonna be there. Like so, I'm just trying to like get in this weird zone of calm before I do. And yeah, so everybody has their own thing, and then we huddle up. Um, and Brent says this thing that we always say, and then one of us will come up with the word uh, for the day, which sometimes is you can't say here. But I think the last one was drug BBs, because Brent was talking about this guy back in the day in Knoxville who would keep two BBs on him. So when he'd weigh your drugs, it would weigh more and look like it was more than it was.
Yeah.
Smart man.
It was like he would like weigh like weed for kids, but he put like two BBs in it. So we just come up with stupid names like that. And then we all, we have a huge crew, but there's videos floating around on the internet, but we all have like our own individual handshakes with everybody in the crew. So like we do that, and that's really fun backstage, because all the local security people and local stagehands see like what a camaraderie we have with each other, because we have a lot, like our fans know usually, like if you hear like a super loud hip hop song before we go on, that's when we're about to go on.
Used
Like
to be 99 Problems, right?
99 Problems for years and years, and now it's Bombs Over Baghdad by Outkast. So when Outkast starts playing, that's when you should start getting ready. And then like we're doing all these handshakes. Tonight will be fun. I have a fun, interesting fact about this place. In 2004, I got bit by a bat at the Blossom Music Center.
What? How did that even
You
happen?
did not.
I swear. I was a guitar tech that Shinedown had just started. I joined Shinedown at the end of 04, 05-ish. And this is when I think Shinedown was touring with Three Doors Down, which is when I would have met them. And I was a guitar tech for Three Doors Down. If you've ever been to Blossom, like during the day, you can hear it's all wood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And there was tons of bats. I don't know if they're still there, but there are tons
Like
of
in the
bats
top of the
in
pavilion?
the very top of the pavilion. And it was the end of the show, and I used to keep my radio in this little backpack, like I have a little quarter-sized backpack. And I reached down to grab my backpack by the strap, and my radio was usually there. And it was very dark, and I grabbed it, and it was like felt really soft. And I was like, "What is happening?" And I opened my hand, and I see these two little white eyes open, and it bit me right here on this hand,
Wow.
right there. Yeah, true story. I had to get a rabies shot, so thank you to the fine hospital. I believe it was either Akron
Oh,
or
yeah.
Cuyahoga Falls that I went to, and I got a rabies shot. And then the next day when I showed up to sound check, our sound and video guys were playing the Batman theme song on the. But yeah, I got bit by a bat at this amphitheater, and this I believe is only my first or second time back to this particular amphitheater.
Oh my gosh.
Damn. Well, we hope you stay
good luck
safe from the
tonight.
bats
Yeah.
tonight.
Thank you very much.
Yes, man. We don't want nothing to happen to you. Again, Shinedown, Papa Roach, Spirit Box tonight at Blossom Music Center. Gonna be an unbelievable show. Gonna be a lot of fun. And then like he kind of told you, when you hear Bombs Over Baghdad,
They're
get
coming.
hyped.
Yep.
They're coming. That's cool.
Get out of the beer line.
Yeah, get out of the beer line.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's time to get ready. Zach Myers from Shinedown. I can't thank you. A fun conversation with you, man. We really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you very
much.
much for having me. I appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good day, and we'll have some fun tonight.
All right, man. Have a great
For
show
sure.
tonight, Zach.
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Zach Myers at Shinedown. Cool dude, isn't he?
Oh my gosh, that was like, I've got to say, that's probably one of my more fun interviews. I love that we got that nugget that he was bit by a bat, and he was the first one to break the news of Prince's death.
2 facts.
2 big
about
facts.
Zach Myers of Shinedown. You didn't know, but you will never forget.
Yeah, for sure.
I can tell you enjoyed that conversation.
Yeah,
They're nice guys.
He was a lot of fun.
They're really, really nice guys. Again, to all our winners at the station, they're going tonight. Tag us in those pictures. Send them to us even. Text them into us.
We'll put up a gallery.
We'll post. We want to see you guys having fun tonight at Shinedown. Papa Roach, thank you guys for putting up with us here during Nicolina's time. She's threatening me. She wants her show back.
Yeah, and beware of the bats tonight.
Beware of the bats tonight at Blossom. Speaking of Shinedown, it's a symptom of being human. It's Q92, the Divas.